In breaking news tonight, the House passes an extension for the continuing resolution budget bill, as predicted. They didn't want to deal with it, so they just passed an extension. They passed the extension midday today and sent it to the Senate. The Senate has not acted on it. The rules of how the Senate operates, it requires only one objection to block an extension. Minutes ago, Josh Hawley said that objection will not be coming from him. Bernie Sanders has remained silent. So will they do an extension? The extension calls for 2 days and to get it done. And when you hear Josh Hawley's Twitter tweet minutes ago, you're going to be surprised what he said about the debacle. Amidst his call for $1,200 stimulus check, Bernie Sanders' call for a $1,200 stimulus check, the White House's call for $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus checks, and Mitch McConnell's call to save his butt and ensure that he doesn't lose the Senate to the Democrats. Everyone's saying things but not being consistent. But in this recording tonight, I'm going to give you the latest update in an evening's recording, taped shortly after these breaking developments. And I have good news across the board for your state stimulus as well. Thank you for joining me on a massive evening of updates. And this is Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is the Evening's LALATE update, which may be slightly irrelevant later tonight if the Senate acts on what they've been given. I'll be going live right after this recording, and that will be the most up-to-date recording of the night. That will be Purple Power shortly after 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Please subscribe, because I want to ensure that you catch me whether I'm going live or tape. Sometimes a show that is normally taped goes live because the breaking details are so important. There's a lot of things unfolding across the board for your second stimulus. There's so much developing throughout the day. Today was really one of the most jam-packed days of major developments by the minute. A lot of twists that would all impact you. And so I want to ensure that you subscribe so you don't miss anything. Meantime, I'm getting viewers money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. So I want to ensure that you get that money. So please subscribe to this channel. Also, hit the alert button on the front of this channel so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Meantime, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm rankings. In tonight's video, I'm going to go over where we are tonight with an extension passed in the House, but not yet passed in the Senate. Again, not yet passed in the Senate. I'll be going over what happened with Bernie and Josh today, what's going to happen tomorrow, and what's going to happen Sunday. What's the president's take on all this? Meantime, I'll be turning back to $2,400 of SSDI, multiple stimulus checks, which have been sort of left by the wasteland. The talk about a down payment, what really is this a down payment for? I'll be talking about FPC, and I'll also be talking about the big questions you've been wondering about, PUA, UI, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, and all that and more. Then I'll be turning back to states. States are giving big money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And with that, there's so much developing tonight. Thank you for joining me, and let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here tonight is that minutes ago, the House of Representatives passed a 2-day extension for the continuing resolution budget bill. The 2-day extension ensures that the federal government stays operating for the next 2 days because they do so much work. They have to stay open over the weekend, of course. Rather than just let the government shut down for 2 days, they did an extension in the House. It's not law. It's not law. It's not law. It's only in the House. It's landed in the Senate. How does it work now in the Senate? The way the Senate works is it requires a unanimous vote of the Senate. One objection will cause the federal government to shut down. Who wants to take that onerous upon them? You would assume anyone that has the values of the American people and a $1,200 stimulus check at heart. But apparently, we don't know that yet. Minutes ago, Josh Hawley, who spoke about the need for a $1,200 stimulus check, presented a bill today for a vote about the $1,200 stimulus check, folded like a lawn chair. Yeah, once again, another congressional leader folding like a lawn chair. He tweeted, "Now that I've gotten reassurances from negotiators that there is a stimulus check in the budget bill, I will not object to a continuing resolution. Again, this is yet another congressional leader who changes their story like the wind blows. A week ago, he said he would not give another extension unless there's a $1,200 stimulus check. Now he's giving an extension if there's a $4 stimulus check. Earlier today, he said that he wants a $1,200 stimulus check. He called a vote on his $1,200 stimulus check that was blocked by Senator Ron Johnson. And then when asked whether he would block a bill later today to extend the federal government for 2 days, he refused to answer the question. Tonight, he's happy if there's a $5 stimulus check in the bill, according to his own typed words on Twitter. A $5 stimulus check from the man who's claimed he was fighting for a $1,200 to $2,000 stimulus check, folding like a lawn chair. Meantime, what is the White House saying about all this? The White House is sort of left and right on it. The White House has indicated $1,200 to $2,000. The White House has indicated that they would not support something small. So will the White House veto a continuing resolution bill? It remains the unknown tonight. It remains unknown whether the White House would veto an extension of the CR because there is a measly stimulus check in there. Moreover, we don't see the stimulus check just yet. I'll explain to you why we haven't seen anything. Next, will the objection come from Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren? They have not said anything either. Bernie Sanders also called a $1,200 stimulus check vote today, and that vote again was also blocked by Ron Johnson. But thereafter, Bernie Sanders also tweeted, "I will continue to fight for $1,200 stimulus check." He made it very clear the amount is $1,200, unlike Josh, who has now backtracked to just a stimulus check. As just a stimulus check, as though he has reached an achievement with a $600 stimulus check potentially. Oh boy, one folds, another goes upright. One folds, another one goes upright. So where are we then tonight? We will see perhaps after the time of this recording, a Senate determination on whether they're going to do extension of the budget bill for 2 days till Sunday. They have until midnight to do that Senate vote, and then the president has to sign it tonight. We don't know if the president will. But what will happen over the next 48 hours? How much is the stimulus check? Is there a deal? What's going on? Let me explain the details. First, there is no deal. No deal, no deal. I've been saying that in nearly every video for 3 days. No deal. There's just a lot of proposals. $1,200 stimulus check is among the proposals. $600 stimulus check, $700. There's just proposals about everything. We don't know the amount of the stimulus check. We do know the reaction of America. The reaction of America is shock and horror. Stimulus checks, hashtag stimulus checks, is trending number 2 in the United States right now. Number 2 of all things on Twitter. Stimulus checks is trending. With the memes of Lindsey Graham saying $600, they think $600 is good. We have golf balls worth more than $600. And things like that where they have rich congressional leaders laughing about how measly $600 is and how they're sort of slapping you in the face. That's the sentiment of America tonight, that they're being slapped in the face. Other memes include things like, we've been behind on our rent for 9 months and they're giving us $600, and they think that makes sense, and then sort of a reaction meme. America's furious. America's irate. America is about to revolt. And yet congressional leaders continue to say things like Chuck Schumer, "I continue to fight for America for a stimulus check." Yeah, but what value, Chuck? A $200 stimulus check? A $100 stimulus check? The continual omission of numbers has been a continuing theme of this congressional group since March, where they say they're fighting for a subject but never telling you the number. And tonight, viewers have had really enough of that half narrative. Earlier today, Josh Hawley said, "You're not telling anyone anything." He said, "I have not been involved with the negotiations. No one knows what's going on in the negotiations. There's 4 people in a room, and congressional leaders are not going to be told to just sit down and keep quiet. We need to know what's going on. We need to know the numbers." But tonight, Josh Hawley said, "You know what? I'll give you an extension because I hear you're working on the subject. Just don't know what the number is." So what is the number? There is no agreed upon number. It appears that the plan by the secret 4 people in the room is to suddenly emerge somewhere from a room on Saturday or Sunday morning and say, "Here is a bill we've written and the 4 of us have agreed upon it. Take it or leave it." And at that point, America's going to sort of jaw drop and say, what is this junk? What is this junk? And then you're going to have people say, you have to take it, you have to take it, you have to take it. This has been sort of the structure of how congressional leaders have been doing things over recent months. And it doesn't behoove anyone at any time. It's basically, we're not going to tell you the amounts. We're not going to tell you how they work. We're not going to tell you how they're operating. But when we're ready to go, then we're going to call for a vote, and it's done. Goodbye, and we're going home. And that seems like how they're trying to set it up for Saturday or Sunday. FPUC, we always ask, is it retroactive? What's going to happen with the retroactive? Is it there? No, it's not retroactive. They won't answer the question, but the answer is there's no retroactiveness. Eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, is that in there? We presume it is, but they won't answer that as well. Stimulus check amount, don't know. All these other things, don't know. All we do know is that there's PUA and UI continued past December 31st. That's the only thing we do know. And then we turn to other people, and they're not giving us much information as well. The number one culprit of not giving you information is Joe Biden. In recent days, Joe Biden has said that a $600 stimulus check is a down payment. A down payment on what, Joe? You have promised us multiple stimulus checks next year, but what are the multiple stimulus checks? How many months? When are they going to go? How much will it be per month? When will you start getting them? And at what point are people going to say, I've waited 8 months. When are you going to start getting this stuff out? Then SSI and SSDI, $24 if you're on SSI and SSDI, $200 a month, starting from a particular month and going to December 31st for COVID-19. Plus a 20% step up in your lifetime benefits, plus a new benchmark that'll tie you to something other than COLA. But the number one question I always get with viewers is, what day is that going to start? I don't even have the idea of when the bill will be written. This is what Joe Biden's promising day one when he comes in, but day one, where is the bill? It's things like that that people are just sort of saying, I hear it, but when is it going to happen? Hasn't happened. How about hazard pay? $10,000 if you've been an essential worker. How many months are you supposed to be an essential worker and wait for hazard pay? You worked as essential. The original hazard pay provision was to pay you from January of this year to 60 days after the pandemic. Well, the hazard pay provision is not anywhere in this stimulus package. So the third stimulus package in January, that would have it. But will it? And we've been promised it, but how is it going to calculate out? We don't know. It's that sort of uncertainty that's making viewers a little bit antsy. The only thing that's reassuring today is that state and locals are really taking care of you. State and local are taking care of you better than anyone else. And when it comes to numbers, they're talking about numbers left and right. They don't hide the numbers. They don't trick about the numbers. They don't mischaracterize the numbers. They are very clear on the numbers. First, states are giving you new extended weeks of benefits in some states. For example, in Hawaii and Illinois and apparently New Jersey and New York, they're giving extended weeks of benefits. Second, states are giving rent assistance. This is free rent. The states that are doing rent assistance are New York and New Jersey, some counties in California, and then they're doing it in cities like Nashville and Harrisburg. They're doing it in cities like Atlanta, and they're doing counties like Gwinnett and DeKalb, and they're doing new ones by the minute. New ones have been announced in the last few days, including New York and New Jersey. They're brand new. They're not sitting back and saying, we're going to wait for Congress to give you a 10-cent stimulus check. We need to give you rent stimulus right now. Next, states have taken care of eviction moratoriums in a way that Congress has not. Many states have extended the eviction moratorium that they had several weeks ago to ensure that they don't expire. Beyond UI and eviction moratorium, states are doing other things. Some of them are sending out stimulus checks, $1,200, $2,000. Some cities are sending out stimulus checks. Sometimes you have to apply for the stimulus check and the demand is too overwhelming. In the case of Orange County in Florida, it's had not one, not two, but 3 rounds of stimulus checks. And the last one went live yesterday. It was eaten up alive within just minutes. That shows you the demand. Meantime, the big helpful source of money throughout this last few weeks have been the nonprofits. A series of major nonprofits, which I'll detail in the video right after this on purple, are paying for rent. Thousands of dollars of rent for viewers of this channel. thousands of dollars for utilities as well. Doesn't matter what city you're in, doesn't matter what county you're in, doesn't matter what state you're in. They're paying money in a lot of different locations. So I always have a viewer who says, I don't see anything being done by my governor in my state. I don't see anything being done by my county in my state. Don't worry, because these nonprofits are paying for you. The good news as you sit here this evening is that a stimulus check will be coming. The good news is that UI and PUA will be extended. The good news is that eventually an eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance will be passed. The not so good news is we don't know the amount of the stimulus check. The not so good news is that we don't know if they are setting you up to permanently not get FPUC retroactive. The not so good news is we don't know where the multiple stimulus checks will kick in and will start in January. We're being told a lot, but being told a little. And that's where people are just a little bit tired of it. It was earlier today that Josh Hawley said, we got to stop keeping people left in the dark. And we're not talking about the U.S. citizens. We're talking about U.S. congressmen. We've been in the dark for days on end. We have absolutely no idea what's in this package, says Hawley. I'm not willing to sit back and be told nothing and be given no information. Just ask, do as you're told. This is a reaching point of absurdity. That was his exact words. Tonight he tweeted, well, I was told there's a stimulus check in it. So I'm fine. Wait a second. What if the stimulus check's $100, Josh? What if the stimulus check's $100? Should I read Josh back his own tweet, his own message? I'm not willing to be told just to sit and do nothing and do as you're told. This is reaching a point of absurdity. You were told today there's a stimulus check in there, but you were not told the amount. And now you're willing to sit down and not do anything? That's the type of folding lawn chairs that Congress has been in recent hours and recent days, and viewers just have enough of it. Ultimately, you got to push, because in some cases, they fold and then they unfold. Sometimes, and you've seen in my coverage of the last 2 days, where congressional leaders said something, went the other way, and then came back on the correct path. You need to hit Josh. You need to tweet Josh Hawley at Hawley Mo, Bernie Sanders, E. Warren, AOC, the president, Steve Mnuchin, Mark Meadows, Mitch McConnell, his communications director, his chief of staff, and say, you know what? $600 is a joke. $600 is a joke, and your political futures are all on the line, because if you look at social media, everyone's mocking you tonight. Your dangling of a $600 stimulus check for people who have been on a lockdown for months, who have been suffering for 8 months, is pathetic. It's pathetic. And it's absolutely deplorable. And for anyone that wants to give a big bear hug to one each other and say, congratulations on the $600 stimulus check, it shows that you are simply out of touch. As Hawley said, I will not sit around and do as be told. Well, America and the Purple Power are not going to sit around and do as told. We're not happy with $600 stimulus check. We're not happy with $700. We're not happy with $800. And what congressional leaders need to learn is that if you want to keep your seat, hashtag seats for stimulus, then you better send out a decent stimulus check. Or the result will be hashtag Senate vote no, House vote no, and ultimately the push to get the president to veto this junk, Trump vote no. Join me next for Purple Power Live. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and save our life for more.